In the next couple of videos and next couple of selections, we want to take selections from the speeches of Haile Selassie I, some of the basic principles and guidelines. And we want to begin this one right here with priority in development, and we're reading from the appendix section of the mission by Hans Wilhelm Lackert, The Life, Reign, and Character of Haile Selassie I. Priority in development is on page 134. The ultimate resource of a nation is its people. Unless this resource is employed for the benefit of the nation, unless the latest good which it represents is exploited to the maximum for the common good, the nation will languish, poor in spirit, lacking in achievement. But no people can make their full contribution to the life of the nation to which they owe allegiance unless they possess and enjoy those few fundamental prerequisites indispensable to rendering their participation in the affairs of their country both possible and significant. The growth of a people is complex and interrelated. Man must be educated. He cannot come to grips with or cope with or understand the modern world unless he has been taught about it. He must be assured of a minimum economic security. He cannot concern himself with matters going beyond the day-to-day satisfaction of his physical needs unless he is fed and clothed and sheltered. Nor can he acquire a sufficient degree of social consciousness to be able to subordinate his own personal interests to the good of the nation and the development of its society. Freedom, liberty, the rights of man, these mean little to the ignorant, the hungry, the ill-clothed, the badly housed. All of this we have from our earliest days recognized, and in the years during which we have guided and directed the destinies of the Ethiopian people and nation, we have endeavored to accommodate and give due consideration to this basic truth. A moment of silence is in order. You understand? A moment of silent contemplation and reflection on what the Emperor, the King of Kings of Ethiopia, Abatachin, our Father, is saying to us. You understand? Now, let us begin to dissect this in a sense. You understand? In order to fully be able to digest it. You understand? You know, just like you have a potato, but you can't give a little baby a potato. You have to make it a mashed potato. You understand? Priority in development. The ultimate resource of a nation is its people. You understand? And I direct this right now to the executives, you understand, and to the members of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated, wherever you are in the world. You understand? I direct this to you. You understand? Chiefly, because this is our chief commonwealth. And to the elect RASTAFARI. You understand? To note the teaching of His Imperial Majesty, the ultimate resource of a nation is its people. That's the ultimate resource, are the people. Unless this resource is employed, unless it's employed for the benefit of the nation, unless the latest good which it represents is exploited to the maximum for the common good, the exploitation, you understand, to the maximum is for the common good. The exploitation of what? This resource being employed for what? For the benefit of the nation. Unless the latest good which it represents is exploited to the maximum for the common good, the nation will languish. Are we languishing now as Rastafari? Are we? You understand? Are we languishing now as Ethiopian World Federation? Are we poor in spirit? Are we lacking in achievement? Now, some of y'all who would seek to criticize me for making this known in public, this the reality of this, you understand? Ask yourself, are you not languishing? You understand? What's the common good of our nation? But no people can make their full contribution to the life of the nation to which they owe allegiance. No people can. You understand? To the life of the nation to which they owe allegiance unless they possess and enjoy those few fundamental prerequisites which are indispensable to rendering their participation in the affairs of their country both possible and significant. You know, a lot of ones basically show I is that they're not really even able, they want to be able to, be involved in the federation. They want to be able to set up and establish a local. They want to be able to focus on Shashamene, which is still the issue. They want to do these things. But like His Imperial Majesty has already outlined for us so many years previously, that no people can make their full contribution to the life of the nation to which they owe allegiance unless they possess and enjoy those few fundamental prerequisites. So now, what are those few fundamental prerequisites which are indispensable to rendering their participation in the affairs of their country both possible and significant? Now, His Majesty notes something that many of us maybe have found out the hard way, but still it's a basic truth, that the growth of a people is complex. It's complex and it's interrelated. You understand? Man must be educated, but the first key, you understand, is education. The first key, education, is the key. That's the first key right there, is that man must be educated. And this is why we in the Line of Jude Society have focused so much on education, the basic education, because we need to be educated. We cannot come to grips with or cope with or understand the modern world, this modern world that we live in, the modern world around us, unless we have been taught about it. So we need to be taught about this modern world. This is why when you look at some of the videos and the CDs and the other offerings that we have, you understand, it may seem like they're on so many different subject matters, that we touch a little bit on the New World Order here, and we touch a little bit on this right here, because all those things you need to become educated about. Because when we now look at these things, we see within them, we say, oh wow, this is related to that, and that's related to this, and that's the behind the scenes picture, and you become more informed, you understand, to make right or correct choices. You know what I'm saying? So man must be educated. Education is the key. You understand? And must be educated with the modern world. So you need to know about, you understand, history. You understand, how do we get to this point in time? You need to know about Ethiopian history. You understand, from His Imperial Majesty's perspective, as well as from some of the naysayers. You understand, some of the other individuals. Some of them have been trying to give us an education about, Eritrea, or, the Eritrean struggle, the Oromo struggle, the Somali struggle, the others who say that His Majesty and the government wasn't good for them, so forth and so on. But we need to become educated about this so that we'll know whether they're telling the truth or whether they're lying. You understand? And it's easy for us to say they're lying because many of them are lying. You understand? But when you're educated about it, it becomes much more clear how they're lying, where they're lying, and maybe even why they are lying against the King of Kings and his government, which now is our government. Because His Imperial Majesty basically has said it all in his interviews when he said that it's the generation, it's for this generation to come. You understand what will happen after he, so-called, is no longer on the scene, present, visibly. You understand? It's this generation. We are that generation. We are to be that generation. Now, what's the next thing? Education is first, right? Next, he must, and pay attention as you read this in comprehending. Reading with reading comprehension is to the must parts. What are the must parts? He must be educated. Next, he must be assured of a minimum economic security. And this is what has really fallen short, especially, I would say, in RASTAFARI. You understand what really has fallen short? We'll talk about making herb legal and stopping, the exploitation of the ganja so-called traffic. But how are the profits from that really profiting the nation? In the next couple of videos and next couple of selections, we want to take selections from the speeches of Haile Selassie I, some of the basic principles and guidelines. And we want to begin this one right here with priority in development. And we're reading from the appendix section of the mission by Hans Wilhelm Lackert, The Life, Reign, and Character of Haile Selassie I.